Hey, ready for the joke of the day? What did the horizontal line say to the vertical line? It was nice running into you. Today, lesson 4-7, we're going to be talking about point slope form. Objectives are on your screen. Please write them down, jot them down. We'll paraphrase them later. We're going to be graphing and writing linear equations using point slope form. Take a second. Remember what lesson 4-6 was all about? It was a form of a linear function. Can you remember? Yes, slope intercept. Good way to remember. The other thing we're going to do today is write a linear equation given 2 points. Ready, here we go. It says if you know the slope and any point on the line, you can write an equation of the line by using the slope formula. For example, suppose a line has a slope of 3 and contains the point 2, 1. We can let x and y be the other point. Remember, variables, we can just do whatever we want. So our slope formula says this: y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We know that's our slope formula. That is equal to 3. It says our slope is 3. Well, we're going to plug this in. Remember, x and y is our other point. 3 is equal to the slope formula again. Y minus the point that we know the line goes through over x minus the other part of the coordinate point. So it's y minus 1 over x minus 2. And we're going to simplify this by multiplying both sides by x minus 2. Notice on this side, x minus 2 cancels, and x minus 2 on this side. We're going to distribute the 3. We get 3x minus 6. They've moved it over here, is equal to y minus 1. This form of the equation is in point slope, and that's what we're discussing today. So whenever we see y minus something on one side, we understand it is in point slope form. So write this down. The line with slope m that contains the point x1, y1 can be described by this equation. Here's your form. Y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. Notice that x1, y1 are the point that we understand the line to be passing through. So let's write the equation in point slope form for the line with the given slope that contains this given point. Now think right now in your mind what that form of the equation looks like. It's y minus our point, y1, slope times x minus our point, x1. So we're simply going to substitute those values in. 1 for y, 1/6 for m, and 5 for x. We're done. It's in point slope form, and if we needed to graph this, we can simply extract the point 5, 1, and use a slope of 1/6. Very similar to slope intercept form. Keep in mind this. The form of the equation says to subtract. So if we see subtraction down here, this is a positive. If we see subtraction here, this is a positive. So you try this out. Write the equation in point slope form for the line with the given slope that contains the given point. Come back and check your answer. And we're back. Remember the equation y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Nobody wants to listen to you two right now. So we're going to substitute the points in. Our slope is -4, placing that in for m, and our point 0, 3. Once again, look at this. Subtraction, but that 3 is positive. So we simplify and get our equation. One more time, 1C, writing linear equations in point slope form. We have a slope of 1 and a point of -1, -4. Now let's keep an eye on what happens with our equation there. The form says to subtract y1 and to subtract x1. And remember, subtracting a negative is the same thing as adding. So we see y plus 4 and x plus 1 with our slope of 1. Check it out. You guys try this on your own. Come back and check your answer. And we're back. Slope of 2, point 1/2, 1. We're going to write this in point slope form again. Substituting m is 2. Our point x value is 1/2. It's positive, so we see minus 1/2. And our y value is positive 1, so we see minus 1. Leaving it in point slope form is important because now we can see the point 1/2, 1. If we were to distribute our 2, things would get a little more complicated. So before we get started on this next one, check it out, 1b. I want you to remember how the slope of 0 looks when we graph the line. We know that that is a flat horizontal line. So keep that in mind as we're going through this process. We're going to substitute -4 for y. So we have y minus -4. And a slope of 0 cancels this side of the equation. X minus 3 times 0 is simply 0. It says in 5-7, but we know we're talking about 4-7. You graphed a line given its equation in slope-intercept form, and that was actually 4-6. You can also graph a line when given its equation in point slope form. We're going to start by using the equation to identify the point and the slope to be used. It says graph the line described by the equation. Remember where our point is. This is our x-coordinate, this is our y-coordinate. And here we see our slope. So we're going to take out the point, 3, 1, and we're going to take out the slope, m equals 2. Remember, any whole number is over 1. We're going to plot the point, 3, 1. Then we're going to use the slope, up to, over 1, to locate our next point. And we're going to connect the dots. Seems easy. Let's try another one. Here we see the equation in point slope form. It says graph the line described by the equation. We're going to take out the points, keeping in mind this, that addition is the same as subtracting -2. So this is +4 for our y-coordinate. This is -2 for our x-coordinate. And we see a slope of 3/4. So we're going to plot the point -2, 4. We're going to use the slope up 3 over 4 and connect the points. Woo! This is fun. Let's try another one. Graph the line described by the equation. So we see instantly, we see a slope of 0. We know that is a horizontal line. And we see that it's going through the point 4, -3. So let's go ahead and plot the point 4, -3. And then our slope of 0, every value of x is going to be -3. We have no rise, but we do have run. Try check it out 2a and come back and check your answer out. Check it out. Get it? We're going to graph the line, Allison, described by the equation. Y plus 2. Remember, this is y minus -2. That indicates our y value, -2. Our x is +2. And we can see our slope is negative. Negative what? Well, we understand there's a 1 there. So it's -1. Down 1, over 1. Plotting the 2 points, drawing the line. Plotting the point 2, -2, and then using our slope, down 1, over 1. Seems simple. Let's look at check it out. 2b, graphing this line, we're extracting the point x, y. Rewriting this, we understand this is y minus -3, x minus 1. We're going to plot that point and use our slope of -2. That's 2 units up, 1 unit left. Notice we're running off the bottom of the graph. So we're going to create this +2 over -1. Remember how that works? The same way. As long as our slope is negative, we're doing good. Write the equation that describes this line. slope-intercept form in slope-intercept. Oh, okay. So we've got slope is 3, and negative 1, 4 is on the line. Write the equation in point slope form first. So we're going to substitute our values in. This is y minus 4, x minus negative 1, and with a slope of 3. And we're going to rewrite the equation in slope-intercept form, so we know that we need to isolate y. First thing we're going to do is simplify the right side by distributing the 3, and then we're going to add 4 to both sides, and we come up with slope-intercept form. So you can see from this little exercise, it's quite simple to go from point slope to slope-intercept. We're going to do the same thing again, except now we have 2 points and no slope. So we're going to have to use our slope formula to first find the slope, and that's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Simplifying, we see our slope of 2. We can substitute either one of the points. We're going to use the 2, negative 3, and y minus that y value, y minus negative 3, our slope that we found, x minus our x value. Try this one on your own. Come back and check your answer. So first thing we want to do, write the equation in slope-intercept form. Notice once again we've put it in point slope, and we've used this point, y minus negative 3, x minus 2, and they found the slope. They're going to distribute the 2x minus 4, and then we're going to subtract 3 from both sides, leaving our form in slope-intercept. Notice they calculated the slope but didn't show that. Remember, that's our most important first step. Now we're going to write the equation that describes the line in slope-intercept form, using the intercepts to find 2 points. The y-intercept is 1. The x-intercept is 1/4. So we know this is one of the points on our line because 1/4, 0 is on the x-axis, 0, 1 is on the y-axis, and we're going to use those 2 points to find our slope. Slope ends up being negative 4. We're going to write that information in slope-intercept form. We have the y-intercept, and we just calculated the slope. We're going to substitute those in to our equation, and we are done. Please try this one. The slope is 1/3, and the point is negative 3, 1. So first thing we're going to do is write the equation in point slope form. We have the slope, we have the point. It's y minus y, x minus negative 3, our x value, and we have our slope of 1/3. Says to write the equation in slope-intercept form now. Remember, that means we're going to isolate y. So we're simply going to distribute the 1/3, simplify the right-hand side, and then add 1 to both sides. Y equals 1/3 x plus 2. You guys check it out, 3B. Come back and check your... Write an equation in slope-intercept form for the line going through these 2 points. Well, notice slope-intercept form contains a slope. First thing we need to do is use our slope formula to find the slope. Plugging those values in, we find a slope of 6. We're going to choose one of the points. They chose 1, negative 2. I'll tell you what, I always choose the point that's easiest to use. I would have chosen the point 310. In either case, we're going to come up with the exact same answer. We plug in our values with our slope and come up with this point slope form. We're asked to put it in slope-intercept. We're going to write it in slope-intercept by distributing the 6 on the right-hand side. Notice they simplify, and we're going to subtract 2. Final answer, 6x minus 8. You guys have seen how to put an equation into point slope form and simplify it to slope-intercept. Stand by and we'll be going through